You're listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. Each week, your host, Polly Requa, interviews veterinarians and individuals in the pet industry from across the nation answering pet questions. Bark and Wag podcast is produced weekly for your enjoyment, and show notes can be found at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. That's BARKNWAG.com. Please remember to subscribe to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. Bark and Wag is dedicated to protecting our dogs through advocacy, education, and supporting like-minded dog lovers by selling custom pet products. Bark and Wag is excited to announce our new partnership with a Colorado hemp farm to produce a line of CBD products for your pets. Bark and Wag has CBD pet tincture available in 300, 750, 1200, and 2400 milligrams. Bark and Wag CBD is pet safe, no THC, it's made in the USA, and is CO2 extracted. Please check out Bark and Wag's website, barkandwag.com. That is BARK, to see our line of CBD and awesome merchandise. We love pooch ideas for podcasts and merchandise, so anytime send an email to Polly at barkandwag.com with your suggestions.
Welcome to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. I'm your host, Polly Requa. Today we're talking to Dr. Laura Brown, owner of Green Tree Animal Hospital in Libertyville, Illinois. Welcome, Dr. Brown. Thanks for coming back on the podcast. I wanted to have you back because it is super cold throughout the country. Yes. And I just think pet owners, not all, are not very wise on taking their dogs outside when it's cold. Like, people do not realize you need to bring your dogs inside when it's negative 18. So I just wanted to give pet owners some tips on what to do with your pet when it's really cold out.
Sure, you're right, Polly. I think it is pretty cold across the country right now, and a lot of it is in areas where we're used to the cold. People have their dogs are kind of used to it. But when we get in these extreme temperatures, nobody is used to it. And it just needs a little common sense. Technically, in my opinion, your dog should go outside, do its business, and come back in. You may have to shovel a spot for it or something to get it to do it. But it eventually, and some dogs may hold it for a day because they're like, this is not my normal. I don't normally, some people's dogs need to go for a good walk to get going. And they need to go to a spot down the street, not their backyard. So people have to be patient and realize that dogs may not poop for a day or two and it won't be the end of the world. Urination, they will. So they need to get out there, do their business, come back in. So no long walks, out, do your business, come back in. Other things to do when they get in the house, wipe their tootsies down, get the snowballs out from between their pads. If they'll tolerate Booties and you want to take them for a walk, that would be the best thing to protect their feet. But lots of dogs won't, tolerate those. There's so many funny YouTube things about them, doing their feet all over the place. So
I just ordered my pug one off of a Facebook ad, and it's like this contraption where it's got like 4 boots, and then it's got like a strap, like a harness. So I'm totally waiting to get it so then I can make like a TikTok video of.
And then it's going to hold all the booties on. Is that the idea? Yes, I can't wait to see that. But then wearing a sweater or a coat is never wrong. But once again, and good idea if you feel like if your dog's going to be out there longer than usual. But I feel like their feet are the things that need the most protection. Short-haired dogs need sweaters or coats and things like that. But if you're out quick, it's their feet. And then back in and make sure they're not holding snowballs in there, dry them off, keep them in, and just go out, do their business, and come back in.
Yeah, and pet owners, I have done this numerous times. If you hear a dog barking and it's outside and it's this cold, call the police, non-emergency, call animal control, because animal control will go to the house and inform the pet owner that they need to bring their dog in or they will be fined.
Good idea. Yep. Do not leave your dog outside on its own. You got to keep an eye on it. I mean, lots of people are used to open their door, let the dog out, do its business. And then you get in the house and you get in your fenced in yard, I'm assuming, and you get busy doing something and you forget them. You can't do that this time of year.
Yes. Well,
You cannot
Yep.
do that this time.
Well, thank you for all the tips, and we look forward to having you back.
Sounds good. Hope everybody stays warm.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.barkandwag.com, to your friends and other pet owners. Have a pressing question for a veterinarian? Ask your question at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. This has been a KFR production. Join us next time for another edition of Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk.